What's up guys, welcome back to the channel. Today we are going to do a 1-year update on the REALTRUCK Overland GoRack. This mid-rise half rack setup here, and tell you the pros and cons, the things that we like, things we don't like. But first we're going to start with a couple install tips, things to avoid, ridiculous things that somehow we were not noodling that day, I guess. And so in case you're not noodling on the day of your install, these will help save you some time, so stay tuned. What's up guys? If you haven't already, definitely check out the links in the description below. We've got lots of cool discount links, discount codes for a lot of awesome companies. I'll leave you to the rest of this video guys, and thanks for watching. FedEx just dropped the Overland GoRack and the low profile REALTRUCK crossbars. So we officially have everything we need to install the rooftop tent, and we are super excited. How excited are we?
Oh yeah, perfect.
Not excited. So we just opened the GoRack Overland box, and everything is super duper well packaged. Look at this, nice and individually packed. Over the top for sure, to make sure the fit and finish is good. So nice stuff, REALTRUCK. And I got my two assistants here to.
Nice job.
Okay,
nice job.
Would you calm down? I really don't know if this looks right. I had to trim out this stake pocket a bit, and it's still kind of, I don't know, is that how it sits? That is $1 million question. It doesn't really show it in the directions. So I had to use a longer bolt, M8 bolt here, because it was too far away. The 25 mil was too short. So this is pretty tight. This obviously isn't, but the stake pocket is very tight. So we'll see. I don't know. This looks a little bit cattywampus, but it's got a lip on there right there, so maybe that is how this is supposed to go. I've never installed anything in the stake pockets before. Next step is cutting out the front stake pockets. The rear ones were already cut out from the factory. The front ones got to cut out. X-Acto knife works well. There we go. Pop it out with a flathead. Pretty nice even cut. And now it exposes that hole in here. Let's see, there we go, where we're gonna mount the other bracket. All right, so clearly the back one is not right, because this thing goes in nicely. Turn it sideways, push this little thing down, and there's the, look at that, boom, flush. So that's definitely how it goes. So I gotta figure out if I need to, I guess, cut out that stake pocket a little bit more to open it up so the whole thing goes down and sits flush. Oh my goodness. All right, save yourself some trouble. When you cut out the rear, if you're installing this on a Ram that has the pre-cut rear stake pockets, just note that, you see how deep it is? It's like 1.25 inches or something. You need to trim this down so that it's shallow, so the black part is shallow. So let me show you what I mean. See how shallow this is? So the thing can just get underneath it and grab. If it's hanging down like this, which it's a nice finished piece. Let's see if I can shine with the light here. You see? So you basically need to trim it to be like maybe 1 centimeter deep tops, because otherwise the thing will not be able to come up high enough to give you threads. It will literally only give you like that much, and you can't obviously mount a rack on 3 threads or whatever that is. So I had to literally get in and Dremel, and it's a total disaster, but I mean, you won't see any of this anyways. But I had to trim up all that extra so that the actual bracket would come up high enough to be able to give me some. So there it is. This thing's holding it together, but this thing's seen better days. So before you go to try and jam the bracket in, do yourself a favor and cut this out to match the front stake pockets, which are about 2.3 inches by 1.5. So in order to get this part of the washer to fit into the hole, the pre-existing hole in your bed, you're gonna have to remove the end cap off your bed rail in order to shimmy the washer behind it, and then just put your bobber guy back on afterwards. There we go. And bolt. It's a 4mm Allen. So I'm gonna put it on now. All right, so Hopefully you can see. It's not beautiful, but I trimmed it down to just about 1 centimeter from the top of my nail to the top of here, give or take. And that will allow the plate, the bracket, to sit right in between, sandwich in between the bed rail and the actual sheet metal in there. So let's install it, and then we'll have all 4 of them ready to go. All right, so I had to trim this one just a little bit more, just the width. But you just want to get it so that you can fit the bracket thing through, and then this will just go like that. And then you'll go on the inside and you'll secure your 25 millimeter M8 bolt through the hole here. There'll be one like this, but slightly smaller. And you're gonna just push that with the indented thing into the hole like that until it's flush, and then put the bolt through and thread it into the fixed nut that's back there. It's inside the hole. All right, so the big one is for the front and the smaller one is for the rear. Found it, it was sitting on Huracan Fab and it was sitting like right there. I didn't see it, so looks just like the latch. All right, so I'm gonna install this guy and then all 4 corners will be ready to go. Well, there it is. There's the Overland GoRack. I hope you like it. Now I've got to put these on temporarily because we're still missing the crossbars, or the extrusion bars, I should say. So they're supposed to be here today. I've got to head out to a little off-road event thing. So I put these washers and nuts on just to hold these things so that they hopefully don't get lost during the 2-hour drive there and back. So, all right, that's it for now. What have we been working on?
The rock rail, or not the rock rail.
The rack.
The rack.
Yes, and what kind of nuts did you use?
Lock nuts and nuts and
Locking.
nuts.
Fragile
nuts.
Flange. Good job. Well, we are finally loaded up. Plenty of space in here. I was amazed at how much extra space we have in here. I just happened to bring these just because why not? All this extra space we have. Just need to get a tarp, another tarp, so I can secure some of the stuff that's not watertight and waterproof bags and stuff. She's got some regular luggage and stuff under there. So yeah, this thing's looking good. Ah, yeah. Look at that, guys. You can even use pretty much your entire roll-up tonneau cover with the REALTRUCK GoRack. It goes basically all the way to the front. I could probably make an adjustment here, but I can just loop the little straps over and secure it, or I can just kind of reach through the handholds and roll it back. See that? Not bad. That was the whole idea behind the stake hole pockets, was the ability to still use your tonneau cover. See if I can latch this. There we go. Ta-da! Now, if this was one of those stronger, this is the Truxedo Pro X15. We absolutely love this tonneau cover. We've been using it on, let's see, 2 or 3 different rigs now, pickup trucks. They make a new one now with the T-channels built in, which I guess if you get the T-channels, then you can just mount the GoRack into the T-channels of the bed cover. But I'm not gonna lie, guys, this bed cover is way more watertight than any of those super fancy REALTRUCKs and all the other ones. It's ridiculous. The only water ingress you're gonna have is really at the back where it meets the tailgate. There'll be a little bit in the corner, a little bit in this corner. But I've seen so many horror stories about the ones where it's pouring in from the front, and like literally you just get a decent gasket for the front. I mean, they include it, but it's like maybe this thick, run along the full bulkhead, and you're good. There's almost no moving parts. It's just this one little handle here, and guess what? You can still use your tonneau cover. Now, with the GoRack. Now, if you had one of those backflip revolver X4 007 whatever, I'm not sure if it would roll up all the way to the front because it's let's see how high it is, how much room we have in the front to roll it up. So from the top of the bulkhead to the bottom of the GoRack, you're looking at 9.5 inches roughly. I don't know if you'll be able to capture that right around there. Yeah, 9.5. So if yours rolls up higher than 9.5 inches, then you might have an issue rolling it up all the way to the front. You saw ours stopped like 2 inches before the front. So luckily we have the, well, they're on the inside now, but the elastic guys that go around the roll to attach to the loops here, they're stretchy on the Truxedo Pro X15. And there's, you can see what we've done to this thing. We've put it through the ringer. They're stretchy, so we have no problem securing that, even though it doesn't go all the way forward. It goes like 2 inches before the bulkhead. So I don't know if the X4S or X4 whatever has elastic. If they do, then maybe you'll be fine, even if you can't roll it all the way to the front. But I bet it probably would get pretty close, because there's, you know, like I said, I think what, 10.5 inches there was the measurement. So yeah, just a really cool thing about the GoRack, the ability to use the stake hole pockets, or you can mount it into the T-channels if you have a tonneau cover with T-channels, or you can mount it to the bed rails if you have the Mopar rails or whatever type of bed rail system. They include double T-nuts for that. Really, really cool. I mean, versatility to have 3 different ways to mount it. So yeah, that's just a little update here on the GoRack. And here's a walk around of the dyno, the current setup here. We just added these little Home Depot waterproof boxes here. That's how she's looking right now. And we also just mounted up, just reran some bed power, because we had to use the stake hole pockets. And so our power was coming in through the stake hole right there, but now there's a big washer there for the actual bed rack. So I found a new hole up top there and ran my cigarette and another direct power there with like a douche connector or whatever it's called. So yeah, so there we go. That's the update. We wanted to just mention one thing. If you're installing the GoRack in the stake pockets, the directions say to install one way. One is driver rear and passenger rear. They're backwards in the instructions. They're flip-flopped. So you'll see when you go to put the stake pocket thing in, it's the one that goes down and angles this way. And it's kind of obvious because you have to reach the hole here. And this is obviously not on the far side, it's on the inside. So naturally what you want is the one that comes down and then curves this way for the bolt to go through. The directions tell you to put the one that goes down and goes this way, but obviously that's not the right one. So if your instructions say to use the one that goes down and inside for the passenger, that's the right one. And for the driver, the one that goes down and towards the inside is the right one. So there you go. How are we looking? Whoa. How's it looking, Maggie? It's looking even? Remember the other thing I was gonna add for the, you can hear I've lost my voice. I'm still trying. I'm plugging away, guys. The backflip X4S, or the back revolver X4S, I should say, has a much more rigid, like this is flexible enough. And this is kind of why we love this one, is because if we overfill the truck bed, it'll just pop up a little bit, like, you know, kind of like little mountains and valleys and things. So I think the back X4S is a lot more rugged, a lot more durable as far as the top goes, a lot more like theft resistant, because this is, you know, like a vinyl. But the because of that, you can probably store, like with the different bed rack here that we have, the GoRack, you could probably use this exactly like we have it, but like put stuff on top of here. I know, I think it's like what, 300 or 400 pounds, like evenly distributed. So that means you can definitely put, like, you know, some gear on top of here. If you wanted to run like this, you know, Overland style kind of thing, you could have, it's almost like a divider, right? It's like a shelf. So you put stuff here, stuff there. Now, obviously that would limit your ability to carry like a big cooler, but just an option if you do have one of those more weight-bearing tonneau covers. Just a really cool option with the GoRack. So one thing I wanted to add before I wrap this video up is The dimensions online, they don't really give you, they really don't give you the dimensions as far as the height of the rack off the bed. And so I just wanted to give that, it's right about 12, a little more than, well, if you go from the actual, it's about 12 inches. If you go from the bulkhead here, it's a little more than 12 inches, but right about 12 and change. So that's kind of how high up the back window it's gonna go. All right, and as far as length goes, oh, maybe I can get it, maybe. There it is, just under 64 inches. Aha, success. Just under 64 inches. And the width is basically the full width of the bed rails on both sides. And you do have some adjustability here to go. They tell you in the instructions which pockets, which slots to use, but obviously you can kind of pick and choose, you know, as you need. So for us, we just went with I think the frontmost bolts so that this thing would be positioned as far forward towards the bulkhead as possible. We wanted our weight to be, you know, as far forward as we could. No, don't press that button, dude. The whole thing's gonna collapse. Come on. But you do have some adjustability front to back and laterally as well. All right, night number one at the Southeast Overland Adventure Vehicle Expo with the roof tent. The Rugged Ridge was amazing, and the GoRack and the REALTRUCK crossbars have been amazing as well. Show you a quick little walk around here. This is amazing. We absolutely love this rack. We added the lights to the rack and then also the front of the bed. And we added a little awning as well. It's a little OBS. All right, now that we've been through all that, let's give you a walk around of the current setup. This is 11.5 months after install. We've got the OVS awning, 270 degree HD, LTE, 5G, whatever. The mini one, the Nomadic 270 degree, the small one. And then we've got 4 traction boards here, little minis. We bolted a couple handles. Let me move this here. We bolted a couple handles, simple little quarter-inch hole, stainless hardware that we got from Home Depot. This is a playground style heavy-duty handle. It's all stainless. I think it looks pretty good. I think it would look better if this was black, but you know, we can paint that if we want to. We've got one on this side and one on this side, and that's just to help you get kind of into the truck, in and out of the truck, help the kids. We've also got this little magnetic cup holder guy up here for when we're truck bed camping. This is pretty slick. We also mounted these, and I'll put a link, if I remember, in the description, these little LED strips. I think they're like 48-inch long. There's one on the front in the bulkhead that's kind of blocked by the toolboxes, but it goes all the way across to our little secret cubby storage area there. And then it runs back up top all the way across. And that is a game changer for truck bed lighting. All right, what else do we have? The Warren sticker. We've got pretty sweet little setup for our fishing rod. Just the end of it just kind of fits into one of those holes. And then we secure the handle with a little Model Outdoor gear tie style strap. Moving on to the passenger side, we've got 2 Home Depot rigid boxes. We've got our, what do we got in here? Kinetic rope recovery bag with a couple soft shackles. So not something that we'll need to get to if we've deployed our truck bed tent or anything like that. Just something that will be nice to have, convenient if we need to give someone a yank. And then in here, I believe we've got a couple click chairs and a little air pump. Little cordless air pump there, 3 click chairs, that's Gen 2, and then we've got 2 Gen 1s in that bag there. Okay. All right, moving on to the inside of the truck bed. We've got a couple waterproof Husky boxes we've mounted, and I've just took everything out basically, but because I'm bringing it into the dealer. But gloves and an impact gun usually go in here. This one is for when we're truck bed camping. Keep this one empty so we can put our battery bank, cell phone, whatever we want. If we want to tuck it all in there. This side, usually keep a Bluetooth speaker. And this one is empty for, you know, kids' wipes or whatever kids need. Kids sleep on this side. And that is basically the inside. We got some bungees kind of hidden in there. Finish of the GoRack is pretty good. It's not the best powder coat we've ever seen before. Like you can see a little bit of rust developing there. But most of the areas that are rusty are because we basically grinded them down for something, or we, you know, did something to wear it down, and then we touched it up with some spray paint, and the spray paint's kind of not taken perfectly well. But other than that, it's the finish is holding up pretty good. So don't really have too much to complain there. I will say the overall build quality, I'd give it a pretty good rating. It's not the strongest, most robust rack that I have seen. I've seen some ones that are built quite a bit tougher than this, but for the weight of it and the price, it's pretty hard to beat. It's very simple, really. It's 2 crossbars, and they're adjustable. You can see that there's some overlap, obviously, to there. I would have liked to have seen this bar be maybe to like here, since it's not like it's taking up any more space. You know, it's just kind of like, I don't know, maybe an 8 or 10 inch bar. It would be nice to have at least an extra 2 inches or maybe 4 inches would be nice, just so it's got some more support there. But it is, I mean, it's not going anywhere. You know, you can give it a little tiny tweak there. Same thing on this side. I added the big fender washers just so that it had more grab. So very simple little L bracket there. And then on the front, the bulkhead, another one, same setup here. And again, it would be nice to have this come a little bit farther in just to give it some more rigidity. Although it like I said, it's not, I mean, it's got a little flex. You can see if I pull it really hard, it's got a little bit of flex, but not much. Even with the roof tent and stuff, actually, there was actually no flex in it. It was because the roof tent, I would not recommend strapping the roof tent, a heavy one especially, to just these crossbars. Probably not, especially if you're gonna do like serious off-roading. I would get the low profile universal REALTRUCK bars that go here to there. You can see where we had them mounted when we had our tent. You can see the difference in the black there and there. Those things were built like absolute Sherman tanks, so I would definitely recommend those for sure. That was, I would say, 9 out of 10, if not 10 out of 10 on build quality for those. What else? We've got our awning here, and yes, this could be mounted nicer with some spacers, but we needed to bring it up so that I can mount the traction boards and still be able to get the zipper undone. So instead of spending $25 on spacers, I just used the washers until I found the perfect height. So that's that. Let's see what else. I love the little T-channels here. You kind of mount wherever you need. There we've got some little loops and things for fastening gear. We just kind of added on. Yeah, I mean, so far this thing, we have put this thing through the ringer. So I absolutely love it. You can see that we've completely outfitted this truck to have this overland rack for like a permanent situation. We have gone ahead and mounted these guys here for our big survival walking stick that I currently have hiding in the corner over there. And we've tucked our wires under there for our light, our LED strips, and for our power sources and stuff, my cigarette outlet and the cooler plug. And then we've got, like I said, we've got these 4 Husky boxes mounted in the corners. We've got everything else mounted on the outside. And yeah, we've been running this for about 11.5 months, and we are super duper happy with it. The only issue we've run into, other than a couple little spots of rust that were mostly caused by us, is, can you see me? Am I too close? I don't know. Is we've had it shift. What I mean by that is when you're doing some like crazy, like super flexy, off-cambery trails, or you're taking, you know, 800 ponies and you're goosing it on the way to school, drop the kids off, have fun, that kind of thing. We've had it shift. We had it shift 2 times. Once after the obstacle course at the Save Expo. So we're doing a lot of like this type of stuff.
Holy! It picked that whole thing up and kicked it. Rick! What? Getting a little tippy now.
And then once after I mashed the throttle like, I don't know, 4 or 5 times on the way to school, dropped my kid off, and we had the whole thing shift backwards, maybe about 1 inch. So I'll show you here. Let me see over here maybe. Yeah, and there's I'll put a little clip of this of when we discovered it. All right, so one thing I noticed, I can't help but notice, is I installed this rack as far forward as possible. And you can see where the little plate here used to sit, and this was sitting all the way, not all the way at the front, but like you couldn't really, it was like right here. So, oh, there's the line right there, you can see. So this thing was here, and this thing was right here. But basically, there is 3 ways to mount this. There is the bed rail covers, then there's T-channels. If you have T-channels in your truck bed cover, or somehow fixed into your rails, or you can mount it to your bed using the existing Mopar bed rails or whatever bed rails your truck comes with. So we chose to do it here. We wanted to be able to run our tonneau cover and still be able to open and close, and we just kind of wanted it to be easy enough to remove if we wanted to remove it. It's only 1 bolt. So it's 1 bolt in the corner, and there'll be, I'm sure you've already seen some part of the video of the install, but I guess the pro and a con of this installation method is there's only 1 bolt, so it's easy to remove, kind of. 1 bolt, 1 bolt, 1 bolt, 1 bolt, 4 total. But the issue is, because it's only 1 bolt, it's not as secure to the bed as maybe the 2-bolt T-channel setup. So what I mean by that is you can't move this. I mean, it's not going anywhere. I've had, like I said, the tent, 155-pound tent up there. We've done, you know, all that flexing stuff.
Yep, keep on going.
But there is 1 stud that comes up here, and they just give you 1 nut to put on it. Now, we had put 2 nuts on it with blue Loctite, and after all that flexing and the mashing of the throttle, we had the thing shift on us a little bit. So what I did was I removed those lock nuts, got some new lock nuts, put red Loctite. Now, obviously, red Loctite is something I think I may have used once in my life before that. You know, you kind of got to deal with the consequences of red Loctite if you end up trying to remove it. But we knew we wanted to run this thing and we wanted it to stay put. So a little drop of red Loctite, a couple extra lock nuts, brand new ones, and that was it. All right, well, now I officially have 3 nuts, because why not? All with red Loctite. Good to go. We have not, it's been on there for maybe 9 months now and has not shifted, has not moved at all. So yeah, just 1 pro con. I guess you can see right here where it dug into the plastic a little bit, kind of. See that? So yeah, that's where it shifted. So maybe 1/2 inch, roughly. But you know, you don't want your rack to shift on you. But turns out, I actually didn't know this, but apparently the racks shift on pretty much everyone. Not these ones, but like other Overland racks. We've had heard other people that have them. Different brands, different models that have their rack shift on them. Even the Diamondback truck bed cover actually shift. And this is, I think it was Alex's rig that had it, and he didn't do any full throttle or anything like that. It's just shifting from flexing situations. So I guess it's something that nobody talks about that is an issue, but it's not an issue for us anymore because we added that, like I said, a little drop of red Loctite, a couple of new lock nuts with little flanges, little serrated flanges, good to go. All right, here we are on our last day of our Hot Springs Overland trip. And I just wanted to say that the REALTRUCK GoRack is now no longer moving. We secured it, and I'm sure there'll be a clip in here somewhere. We secured it with 3 lock nuts all the way down the stud and some red Loctite. I don't know if that is completely necessary, but we don't know exactly why it was moving without the red Loctite and without the 3 lock nuts, other than the fact that we have almost 800 horsepower basically in this truck. Okay, no more wipes. And you know, full throttle with all this weight on top. But after a full week, 5 days of wheeling, 4 or 5 days of wheeling, through some of the most extreme trails that we can do in this truck as far as width goes, all the badge trails, and a couple juiced up ones, including, what was that one, Road to EMIS and Get Wired or something like that. It is no longer moving, so now we can officially give this thing 1 thumb up, 2 thumbs up. I can't, my hand's holding up. Here, thumb, there it is, 2 thumbs. So yeah, so that's the walk around. That is the elongated version of me trying to make sense of this review video, since it's chopped up into different parts, the install and random clips of things that we were doing. But this is the setup. This is how we currently have it outfitted after almost 12 months. So it's just under, we installed it last November, and it's October 14th today. So yeah, that is the setup. Definitely recommend this rack, absolutely, especially if you're not looking to break the bank. I think this one, it was like $1,000. There's some others that cost like 15, 18, 2,000, whatever dollars. I really like the mid-rise. There's some dimensions that we put probably earlier in this video or maybe later. But I really like the mid-rise setup because I don't want something that is gonna be so high that when we put a tent or something on top, it's now 4 feet above the roof line. I wanted something that when you put the tent on there, it was only maybe 8 or 10 inches higher than the roof line, and that's what this thing delivered. So give you a shot of what it looks like from above a little bit. You can see the height possibly. So right now, even with the awning, it's still way lower than the roof line. And I just think that the half rise, the mid rise is just the look for, especially for this truck. That's just, in my opinion. You know, it doesn't take away from like the sportiness of the truck. It still looks, you know, still looks tough, still looks sporty, but it's not, it doesn't look like a construction pool building truck. At least not to me. All right, so hopefully that gives you all the answers to the questions you guys might have about this rack. Definitely highly recommend it. REALTRUCK was great to work with. We had one issue with shipping of the, I think we were missing extrusion bars at first, and they got right to it and shipped it to us, I think like the same day or next day. So yeah, big company, but still care about the customer. So highly recommend them. Awesome. Good luck. If you have any questions, leave them in the comments below. One other thing to mention before I close this one out, if you guys haven't seen this or heard of this small mom and pop shop called Huracan Fab, you guys are really, really missing out. If you guys have a pickup truck, and I assume you do since you're watching this, this is a hidden gem. Untapped storage potential. We've been running this for over a year now. We've got about 50 pounds worth of gear in there. And it is a game changer. Absolute game changer. We got the light strip, that's an optional add-on, and this thing is just absolutely amazing. Discount.
In the description below.
Game over. Discount, description below. Where is it? Where is it? Say it below. Say it below. Okay. Reggie, say below. Okay, cool. Say below.
Above.
Above.